Okay, I've just pulled the trout out of the fridge. You can see that there's been a bit of seepage, which is great. It's good to have it all contained. Ooh, yeah, a little bit squelchy. And I'm going to unwrap it and just shove it in the sink and give it a good rinse. So you can see I've taken the newspaper off. There's quite a bit of fluid accumulating in the bottom here. And the fish have actually cured, looking really nice. Right, next step, the rinse off. Right, nothing too flash about this. We're just rinsing off under cold water. You just have the tap running and you just get all that salt off. Give a little bit of a massage. If you really want, you might leave them soaking for a wee bit. Right, on to the last trout. You can see that there's quite a bit of salt still there. We're just aiming to rinse it all off. We don't want to have, we prefer our trout not to be too salty, so we do give it a really good rinsing and a bit of a soaking too. All the salt has done is cure it. We're not after a real super salty taste ourselves, but that's all a matter of personal preference. Right, I reckon we've had about 5 minutes worth of water running over and a little bit of soakage. That's enough. I'm going to use these little S-hooks I've got. They're not too big enough. I'm going to get a knife and actually whack some holes in where the wings are, because trout skin's actually pretty tough. And then we'll hang them up. Excellent, my assistant has returned and he wants to add a bit of brown sugar to the rinsed off trout. He believes this gives a somewhat sweeter flavour to the flesh. So he's just going to stick a bit more brown sugar just straight into the cavities of the trout. We're going to put them back together and chuck them in the fridge for about 20 minutes.
Right, so I'm just rubbing it a little bit in. It's just going to sweeten the trout up a bit and give it a bit more colour when I smoke it. And help combat the saltiness of it.
Right, okay, you can see I've stuck the hooks in, the brown sugar's sort of dissolved. And you can see how it's actually taken a little bit more fluid with it. It's oozed out. Great, we'll go and hang them up now. Right, so here we've got the trout hanging. Looking good. The reason why we're using this modified camping cupboard is that we've got a bit of a fly issue. Normally we'd just hang them up on the washing line. We've got an inside one. Sometimes you can hang it outside if the flies aren't too bad. Right, when it comes to using a fan, you can just use one of these little USB driven ones. You can see, just got it hooked up to the old power plug. But we're probably going to use a bigger jobby. Okay, so we're using a slightly gruntier fan here. Just get a bit of airflow going. That actually just helps dry out the flesh of the fish. We want to have a nice, fairly dry, tacky surface before we go and smoke them.